Good evening, everybody. We got here a 1v1 between two top level players, and let's get right into it because we do have some interesting civilizations to talk about today. So, as you can see, Liereyy playing in the purple as the Mayans. With that extra villager, you do want to get Loom first rather than going straight into your villager. So, of course, we did see that, and he's now at 4 villagers with another one just coming out now. So, he is in a good position. And then his enemy Yo to the other side, a little bit messy with collecting from 2 pigs this early on in the game, but shouldn't be too bad long term. As we see, he is playing as the Italian, so that is interesting civilization to pick. Obviously, Italians known very well for their strong water. Not necessarily as strong as just a straight up land civilization, but still very formidable and very good anti cavalry archers, which is very strong for them, but won't be seeing any cavalry from the Mayans player at this point in time. Let's take a quick look at the map. So we do see for Yo not too bad for wall off potential in this back area. Could get some safe wood and this gold safe fairly easily with just a few walls here or here. But he does have a forward main gold. He's got his somewhat forward berries and not very easy to wall on this side. So likely we'll be just walling into the town center on the northern side of his base because he is wide open on half of the base. And then we take a look at Liereyy. He's a little bit of a better position. He does have this safe wood line back here. He's going to pull in his boar already and could see some walls in to help that out, and a little bit of messy pathing there for Liereyy, as that's just a bit unfortunate. In the meantime, he does collect up some wood, and he will attack the boar with the town center, of course. As far as walls go, nice little protection at the front. Again, might just see him walling into the town center. Very open and needs quite a few walls, so further down the road we would see a little bit more, but not yet. Not yet at all. In the meantime, though, Liereyy already scouting forward, so he's already seen these berries. He's seen that ibex being pushed in, and so that will allow him to know the enemy is collecting up the food. These pigs, of course, are far enough away from the town center where the eagle could scout them, but they smartly run back. So good scouting from Liereyy to begin with, and Yo has not yet been able to go out and scout the enemy. Now, these two players, top 1v1 players, and both very strong when it comes to archer civilizations. I would say Liereyy with micro is one of the best in the world at this point in time and has been for quite a while. He's just such a fast player, probably one of the fastest in Age of Empires right now. And that is just because he's always been like that. The young guy came in and he took over with his speed. Yo, being more of a legend around the community and still very strong, and obviously both of these players capable of beating anyone. These players still are going to be looking to get to the feudal age as quick as possible. We will see both of them making a big push to get a quick feudal as the walls are starting to come in, and we'll probably see the age ups as well as barracks coming up in the next few minutes. As you can see, the barracks is already up for Liereyy, nothing yet for Yo. So we might see some sort of move for a drush or something along those lines, but it's not necessary, as we see that Yo is a little bit quicker up to the next stage. He did push in a lot of ibex, and as you can see here, Liereyy just pushing in the deer right now, so that does cause a bit of a delay with food. Liereyy still hasn't clicked up, so he might even be going for a little bit more of a castle age push as we continue on. The push is completing, and Liereyy should be okay as he is slower to the next stage, but will have that stronger economy with 2 extra units, 2 extra villagers to collect up food. So he will have a strong economy. He's already got the barracks out, and we will likely see archers from both of these players, but we could always see a little bit of a mix-up. You never know, of course, the food amount on the field, we could even see some sort of scouts as this pig is just rotting away for Yo. We will likely see him collecting up after, but both of the players wanting right now to just get to that next stage and wanting to make sure that they are attacking. So here we go. We've got 3 already for Liereyy on the gold. Nothing on gold yet, though, for Yo, and so he is going to go for stable units. He is going to go for the scouts to begin with. And scouts, of course, very strong early in the feudal age, just because one-on-one they can beat an archer no problem. It just once those archers get to that mass that it becomes problematic for the scouts, as they can start to attack and kill scouts a lot easier. But with the amount of food in the bank right now for Yo, it makes sense to be collecting up and building those stable units. He doesn't really have the wood economy to produce a ton of farms, but he definitely will be building at least probably 6 or 7 farms out of these villagers. So we'll be able to maintain villager production, we'll be able to maintain a couple of scouts production, and then we'll likely see some sort of switch as the spearmen are already out. And the scouts are coming across as the blacksmith goes up, and the walls are not completed fully for Liereyy, but he's in a pretty good position, especially in this back area here, able to wall in very well and a lot more protected than his enemy on the other side. And with these couple of spearmen, that will allow for damage to be done, and the scouts do get in. They get a couple of shots on this villager, but nothing really to write home about, as the spearmen will be able to protect, and that town center took out a bit of HP for the scouts. Archery range is now coming up for Yo in the back, and yes, only 5 farms as well as a few 4 villagers on berries, so that will be enough to maintain production of his town center, but probably not enough to maintain scout production as well. We need to increase that, definitely. Good quick wall from Liereyy. He almost lost that villager if that wall had not gone up quite as quick. But now we do see 3 archers and 1 spearman moving forward, and against 4 scouts. I do not know how well this army will fare, but the 4 scouts choosing to loop around a little bit differently, as Yo is trying to complete his wall off. Might not be able to in time, but the farms are now going up. He has 9 farms now, and he's suddenly going to get to that point where he is building lots of skirmishers. And Liereyy, bit messy there, running under, loses an archer for free and a lot of HP on the others. The skirmishers already out, but this eagle very strong against the skirmishers, and the spearman has to be taken out first, but then the eagle will definitely fall to the scouts attacking from behind. That's the problem with scouts. They're so quick. They can catch up to anything right now that Liereyy throws out on the field. Liereyy getting some unique walls going in here, but fully walled on this side and protected on the wood line, as the enemy is still pushing with these scouts. The spearmen won't be able to do too much, because 4 scouts versus 1 spearman, well, the spearman only able to get 1 of the scouts out. Archers even, not a huge deal, especially now that there are skirmishers behind. These archers will need to run inside of the walls, and spearmen are nowhere to be seen to defend against those scouts. But the skirmishers doing enough for now, as both of these players do have fletching in, so they will have the same range. But one thing to note, the Mayans do have an advantage when it comes to archers, because they do produce them a little bit cheaper. And so it's just that much easier for the Mayan player. Market coming up now for Yo. He's built pretty much every feudal age building there is, as the skirmishers are going to just annoy this wood line. Not going to take out a villager. Skirmishers won't be able to take out a villager, but they can delay the wood production quite a bit. There's not too much that the archers can do, because one-on-one, the archers will lose to the skirmishers quite handedly. So one thing to note is Yo still has a scout. He is scouting around the map, taking a look. Where are the golds? Where are the relics? Where are the stones? And where can I start to press an advantage? And that's something that Liereyy doesn't have. He does have good scouting from the beginning and from the Dark Age, but he doesn't have that eagle that can really find out what's going on across the map. Both of these players now are going up to the next stage, and we see quite a big food economy, as a matter of fact, for both of them. So we will likely see more town centers getting dropped. I mean, a town center on this gold would be great for Yo to protect this back side of his base. And for Liereyy, probably just going to see a town center on a wood line. Might see one here, but probably just the wood lines would provide a little bit more protection, as both of them will have the wood and the farms to continue production. I do not believe there will be a huge push, but we will see a switch into knights from Yo, as he already has bloodlines. He's probably going to start to look towards getting upgrades for his knights, and there we go. We see scale barding armor coming in already, and Liereyy walling off because he knows the enemy will be pushing forward eventually. When we take a look at the military, only 2 skirmishers on the field for Yo right now, and now 1. So 1 skirmisher, 1 scout, and we've got 6 archers for the enemy. So this skirmisher going to try and get just whatever value it can, and doesn't pick off any of the archers, but will be able to do a little bit of damage, and at least now Yo knows that the enemy is on the way. Both of the players going to reach the castle age at very similar times, but there will be archers in the back of Yo's base. So knights immediately come out. 2 knights should be able to clean this up even once they are crossbows. But once the castle age is hit, Liereyy saw that there is a stable here, and he kind of knows knights are probably coming out. And there you go. First town center is being built on the stone, and we also see a monastery for Liereyy. And Yo choosing to go much stronger into his town center. So great town center here. As I mentioned, that protects the back side of his base, protects this wood line, this gold, and this wood line. Good position there, and very effective and efficient. And then he's also going to be collecting up stone. If we do get to a point where we see some castles getting dropped, that could be an advantage. Monastery. The monastery is out for both of the players. I think Yo might have a little bit more of an interest in collecting up relics to begin with, whereas the enemy is going to be focusing on converting these knights. And a few knight conversions will make a difference. And so it'll be good for Yo to have the monks in his back pocket to respond to those conversions. Liereyy choosing to go into another town center on this gold as well. So they will both be on 3 town centers shortly. So their economies will be very similar. Lierey's still with a 3 villager advantage right now, but Yo will be catching up a little bit there as he continues to expand his economy. And Liereyy collecting up the first relic to go. And a bit of bad luck here that Yo hasn't mentioned or hasn't noticed this relic yet. So with this many crossbows, it's going to be tough for the knights to engage, especially with this town center and a monk behind. So the knights do have to turn around and run. No conversion yet, and still pretty good HP on the knights, as the first relic is on the way in for both players, as this monk could actually be picked off by the spearman, but seems unlikely at this point, as there will be another monk and a knight to protect them. Yo just trying to find a spot and a way to break through the walls and get into the economy right now. With this little bit of a gap on the walls on this palisade, the palisade will fall quickly, but this house should go up in time, no problem from Liereyy. Good response, and now these knights are cornered with a monk on the side and some crossbows to pick them off. We might see a conversion come in. Unsure if it will be in time, and not in time. Very close. The knights just get out of the way as outposts are coming, and each player is trying to position themselves to be just at that right position for the future. we do see now a forward siege workshop, and the siege workshop is going to be the difference maker. If we can get some siege on the field, the siege can take out the monks. It can definitely take out those crossbows. And I mean, there's only one monk on the field right now. He is going to run, try and get that conversion. The conversion does not come through. Yo does lose a knight either way, but at least he takes out one of the monks of the enemy, and definitely worthwhile to take out a monk, because the monks, of course, being very expensive. A castle now coming out, and so we could be seeing some plumed archer switch. Plumed archers, very fast, very mobile, and easy to play around with, but of course, very hard to always be on the ball and looking at the mangonel. So this mangonel actually might go down if he decides to run into this castle, as he does see that the crossbows are sitting in front of it. But we will see what sort of move each player decides to go for. Liereyy unsure and goes right into the mangonel, and that is a lot of damage, a lot of losses. Will there be another shot? No, there is not, and the monk can't be taking an engagement against those crossbows, as we see now the castle and multiple monks. Yo, you need to turn around. Yo, what are you doing? The entire army of Yo now falls apart. Only 4 knights get out, 3 only make it, and we have 3 for the enemy with more HP. This is a bad situation for Yo. That is a big loss, and he needs some sort of response to get his army back on the field. So we do have a monk healing up the knights here, and we do see that these crossbows are going to try and do damage, but the mangonel just falls immediately to the 3 knights of the enemy, and nothing really for Yo to do about that. So that's just a free mangonel. 2 mangonels lost for Yo, and nothing yet for Liereyy. And this relic just that's got to be annoying if you're Yo, once you find out that that relic's been sitting there this whole time, as knights are sort of stopped for production for Yo, and Yo has chosen to go to the Imperial Age. So he wants that advantage, and he needs a castle up. He needs it up pretty quick, because the army of the enemy is going to be moving forward. And let's see exactly where Yo decides to build this castle. He's got to be careful. All of these villagers could start to go down on building this castle, but he needs the castle up, and this position makes sense. Protect the gold, protect the stone. Might even see it on this hill up here, but no. Yo is going to be very aggressive, and both these players are going to be hitting the next age at a very similar time. And look at this castle. That is an aggressive castle right there. The enemy knows it's there, and the plumed archers and monks are going to run right past it and say, okay, go ahead and build that castle. We don't care. We will run right by and attack your economy. And there we go. Yo did collect up that relic, and the plumed archers do take out 1 monk, but there's a lot of monks now for these knights to engage against, and it will turn into a bit of a Trebuchet war, which the advantage goes to the player who is going a little bit less into unique units. And so one thing to note is, once trebuchets are being built out of this castle for Liereyy, he won't be building plumed archers. Instead, he will be building up trebuchets that take a little bit more time, but are still strong and are just necessary. You can see here, the monks for Liereyy, the ones that were converted originally, 1 might be converted here, and there you go. You see the conversion, and the other 2 will fall, or just choose to run away. And so the knights will clean it up, and we have 3 castles right now for Liereyy. So that is an important thing to note, as both players are in the next age. So yeah, sure, he won't be producing plumes out of this first castle, but he'll still be producing them out of 2 others. So production of military is not going to be a problem, and this is the age-old discussion that people have had with Mayans. They're the only civilization that can do both the economy and the push with military, more than pretty much any civilization in the game. Italians, of course, are pretty strong, but with the Mayans, they do have those cheaper units. They do have that longer lasting resource, so it is very easy for them to maintain production against the enemy. And the Trebuchet already out for Yo. We will see the plumed archers running under, and we see already a couple of Trebuchets for the enemy, but this castle is getting attacked, and not a great location to be building a castle if you are planning on keeping that up, but it could be, because it could be going down, and with two Trebuchets out here and castle fire attacking both villagers and plumed archers, the villagers will try to protect where possible, but these plumed archers are just going to hide right underneath, and now we have Cavalier for the enemy. And this group of Cavalier, this could be the deciding factor, as the castle on the front looks like it's going to fall, and we have multiple Cavaliers that can just run right underneath the castle fire, take out the Trebuchets. And will this Trebuchet go down? It does. All of the Trebuchets right now down, and we have light cavalry taking out the monks. All of the monks fall for Liereyy. Light cavalry in the base. Is this it for Liereyy? Is this enough for Yo? As this Trebuchet now being attacked, all of the Trebuchets falling for both players, and the Trebuchets trying to take out this castle as much as possible, but so difficult to engage against. In the meantime, we have light cavalry running around in the back of Lierey's base. Chemistry is coming in for Liereyy right now, and that is one thing to note. The advantage for range and attack for these castles is in the favor of Liereyy, just because he's going for archers. We see another castle on the right for Yo, but not much military left for Yo. He's got 11 Cavalier and 4 light cavalry. Not that much compared to the 27 plumed archers of the enemy. This castle, of course, is getting attacked, and we see more upgrades coming in for both players, as the Hussar upgrade is coming in for Yo. And this castle looks like it will go down, but the castle for Yo probably will as well, as conscription is in now. So this castle is becoming more and more important, and Yo choosing to build here, and that is not yet spotted. Oh, it is spotted by Liereyy. And great quick walls from Liereyy, protecting the Trebuchets, able to add that little bit of a bonus, but now the Cavalier are in anyways. Will this castle stay up? It's going to be tight. The castle goes down, but will it stay up for Liereyy? It looks like it might, and it does, so that might be it. Yo has not much on the field. We've got 2 Cavalier, we got 10 Hussars, but what is the cost of all of that? As both of them have a strong economy, but there is nothing that Yo has that can engage against this many plumed archers. The Scorpions able to do some damage, but not going to be able to take out much, as they get one-shotted by the plumed archers. And this castle here will be the new staging point of the enemy. But the quick walls, again, Liereyy just so fast with these walls, able to do so much, and bit of a mistake there from Yo, having his Trebuchet within range of the enemy's castle. Now it will move just outside of range, and he should be fine to attack the castle anyways. Gold being collected from Yo on this side, but this is the main concern for Yo. His economy is wide open, and this is not enough Hussars to engage against this many plumed archers. Villagers are going to fall. This palisade gate, as if it's nothing, falls to the arrow fire, and so Yo waiting for the enemy to run under there and going to try to corner the enemy, and the plumed archers might lose, might fully fall, but the villagers are falling as well. Lots of villagers going down, but lots of plumed archers as well. Is there enough on the field for Yo? It doesn't look like it's possible, but it might be. With the micro, can Liereyy take out the entire army of Yo? Reinforcements are coming in, and these are Cavalier. They're not just Hussars, so they are strong. We got more Hussars, more Cavalier coming in. The entire army of Liereyy is going to be taken out if Yo just moves forward with his army. He needs to take out and get the surround going. Move these Cavalier in, and you will take out the enemy, no problem. And in the meantime, another castle was almost up for Yo, but not able to quite get up in time, and that's why the army had to run. The castle on the right falls for Liereyy, and the castle being repaired now for Yo. And we do see halberdiers coming out for the Mayan player, and halberdier is going to take out everything that is on the field right now for the enemy. Yo, of course, being heavy into cavalier and light cavalry, and the trebuchets able to save themselves. No, the trebuchet falls as it's running, but all of these halberdiers and plumed archers, very difficult for the Italian player to even engage against this. Luckily, the castle makes it up, so Yo is able to stay alive a little bit longer. And the raids will start. If Liereyy cannot build quick enough, and he doesn't, the walls do not go up in time. And so now the economy of Liereyy being attacked by the enemy on both sides. Look at all of these cavalier. They are able to run underneath the castle fire for short-term engagements, but nothing too long-term, as they are actually attacking the castle here. Will take quite a while to take out a castle with cavalier, and the trebuchets will go down to halberdiers if we see them continue to engage. Yo is all over the place with his engagements, but trying to take out trebuchets where he can. The trebuchet battles have been the mainstay of this engagement. Another trebuchet is being attacked, isn't quite able to be taken out. So this castle with the one on the hill has been so important for Liereyy, but the raids are relentless right now for Yo. The economy right now feeling a lot better for Yo than it is for Liereyy, but the armies, I just can't see how hussars can engage against this many halberdier. The castle, of course, will go down now for Liereyy, so that castle being taken out is a very important thing as it opens up this wood line to be raided. And in the meantime, we now have a switch into Genoese crossbowmen. So that is going to be able to engage against the armies. But look at the size of this hussar army, and no halberdiers in sight. We got two running to help, but two is not going to be enough to engage against this many. This might be it for Liereyy. I've said both ways for this whole game. It could have swung so many times as trebuchets are now being taken out. Halberdiers losing the battles, and the army of Liereyy just hanging on for long enough, as now the Genoese crossbowmen are starting to get massed up. Of course, Genoese crossbowmen very strong against cavalry, but still strong against other units as well. This castle on the hill will stay up. One last shot from the trebuchet will take a shot, but won't be able to take it down. And more hussars taking out more villagers. So much eco down. So many eco kills for Yo. 95 eco kills for Yo. Only 17 for Liereyy. So he will try to get some sort of rating in. And now we see the halberdiers running in, but this many halberdiers won't be able to do enough, especially with the weak HP that we do see out of them. A little bit of a stalemate at this point in time. Both players sort of just sitting back as we see Arbalesters coming out for Yo. So with the Arbalest upgrade, there's more distance, more range, and more ability to engage against Helbs and against the Plumed Archers. Plumed Archers taking out that Trebuchet, that's great, but lost a lot in the meantime. So one last volley leaves the castle, and that's it. Liereyy has to call it. So that was a fantastic hold. I thought it might have been over, but Liereyy overextending when he pushed that army in here, and he lost everything, allowing for the tides to switch. Fantastic battle.